forewarned this will be my only book as long as I am left alone. Here are my 4 years' experiences. I have to write them or they will stop it by stopping me. One reptilian has already made attempts. This is why I have had to write it. The reason I wrote this book was to get rid of the reptilian entity I will call Edish. Edish was originally sent to me by the man I will call Brian. Brian is depicted on the front cover and was hosting a reptilian. Edish fell out with Brian and started working alone. I had some personal information on the reptilians that I had no intention of telling others, but the connection of Edish and his attempts to harm me, which went on for 3.5 years, meant that I had no choice but to publish the information in order to stop him. He was following a reptilian rule inappropriately. We stop people before they expose. But I wasn't going to expose them anyway, so he was quite ridiculous to have brought this about. His characteristic of, I have to win no matter what, was also partly to blame. The other reason that this book was written and published is that Edish enticed the overseeing entity of John of God, psychic surgeon in Brazil, to work for him. He enticed her with reptilian secrets, such as one about karma and another an alien agreement. In exchange, she joined forces with him against me. At the same time, she wanted to help out against the Reptilians and was instrumental in producing this book. The reptilian Edish doesn't care about the reptilian organization, only himself. 1. Introduction. This is a book about an alien race and how they are taking over the planet. This alien race is known as the Reptilians. Actually, they are called the Draconians. The biblical term is the Nephilim or fallen angels, and obviously Satan. David Icke talks a lot about them in his books. Captain Bill Robertson, whose books I have just discovered describe them as Markabians, an alien race operating to take over the planet who are able to take over adult bodies. Bill Robertson died prematurely of a brain tumor in his 50s. I think maybe they killed him for his knowledge. Andrew Hennessy provides evidence that they are in fact dragons, and I myself get a mental image of a wide jaw with sharp teeth roaring in a blood-curdling way, a bit like a dragon. This occurs when the reptilian host that I have been targeted by tried to harm me. It may be that they are in fact dragons that do not fire breath. I was targeted because I was doing a higher consciousness course called Awakening Your Light Body by Luminescence, and the reptilians wanted to know more about it, so they could stop it. I am very concerned for this organization's safety. I want to warn anyone else working at higher consciousness about what the reptilians are doing. Exposing it may stop it. I had become involved with a reptilian who had taken over a human spirit and body who I will call Brian. He had been body snatched. They are doing this a lot now, hiding behind a human body, convincing us that this human is still only human when it's not. Brian was reptilian through bar his emotions. What human could be as evil as he? He is cruel to a T, relishing pain, telepathic with extraordinary mental abilities. I have seen him as a reptilian, although at the time I didn't know this is what he was. I am absolutely convinced and have lots of evidence. Not only that, but there were 2 reptilian spirits, his guides, attached to me for 3 years since getting involved with him. Now they have gone. They had been seen and identified by 20 entity removers. Here are my personal experiences of a man who is actually a reptilian. Now, Brian is one of many such reptilians, and you will know the names, and maybe know one personally. There are politicians and even heartthrob actors, other humans hosting reptilians. Yes, the reptilians are here, and I am sorry to say doing rather well, but that can change. I'm talking here not about their physical form. An 8-foot green reptile with yellow eyes and an unpleasant smell, although they also are here, and this is how they would appear elsewhere. But about their invasion in a different form. They have taken over human beings, and once taken over, there is no going back for that human. Don't worry, it won't happen to you. There are special preparations they have to do first prior to you even being born. Taking over a human is the only way they can do it, as we mustn't know they exist. Secrecy is their power. They are of a different dimension. The fifth, once you have read this, you will find that their presence becomes very obvious. In fact, you will start to recognize them. That's why the government is like it is. Humans hosting reptilians, and the reptilian is the one in control. You will never know it until you read this. Compare my descriptions to someone you see on television. Are they really who they seem to be, or are they, as I describe, a reptilian? This is the body snatchers in its true sense, and you can spot them, and by doing so they can't operate in secret. I have unique insights that I have gained from 2 years' experience with a reptilian host and found out exactly how a reptilian exists as a human, and that is not found elsewhere. I hope that by publishing this book, others will come forward who know what I know but have not understood it. I believe that I am exceptional in that I have come to understand in full one particular human/reptilian, and I have done it the hard way. Almost everything there is to know, I know. I think you'll find the book extremely interesting, and it will expose weapons and methods of harming that they do without us knowing about it. I provide unique insights into how they prevent us raising our consciousness. This is their hidden agenda. I was targeted for this very reason. Plus, of course, how they intend to, excuse the cliche, but it's true, take over the planet. I have been astounded by and felt very out of my depth with these reptilians. They are highly advanced aliens, and I have experienced their abilities and technology to be extraordinary, although they are fundamentally bad. They are masters of the mind and use all the hidden rules that affect us, such as the law of abundance. Although individually they are more powerful than we are, as a whole we so outnumber them that we have more power, and certainly we have the ability to remove them from this planet. Simple exposure will work. A term I was told for the draconian organization is the suppressive force, which is descriptive. They are also called the Illuminati, the global elite, and this is the Reptilians. They are a secret organization who is taking control of the planet without us knowing about it. They place themselves in positions of power, and they are also found in all walks of life. And there is a ground force covering geographical areas. And this was Brian's role. His area used to be Marbella, Spain, that he called his turf. He termed his organization the suppressive force because they are using techniques to suppress us all so that we don't realize what is going on, and so we are too caught up in our problems to even care. Suppression would mean suppressing our intellect as described under nutrition, suppressing our abundance as described under debt, suppressing our health as described under viruses and nutrition, and the weapons that they use, suppressing our consciousness as described under anti-higher consciousness program, art and architecture. 1. How it all began and why I am writing this. I will start by saying a little about myself. I am a healthcare worker with a Bachelor of Science degree. I have worked in hospitals for 15 years. Prior to the events of 2002, I had no interest in aliens or conspiracy. I was living in Marbella, Spain, setting up my freelance work in doctors' clinics and attending the government-run Spanish school. Here I met Brian, who was attracted to me, and we became friendly. I was originally unattracted to him. He is not that good-looking. I then suddenly became very attracted to him. I couldn't understand it. Later I found out that this was due to his seduction techniques that he used on me and all the other women at the school. I think his ability to attract women was unusual. However, he pretended just to be normal. There were things that really didn't fit. I will later describe these. We then dated. During our time of dating, Brian told me who he really was, that he was working for a global conspiracy. He said he thought I already knew. I had no idea at all. This was how he told me. It was 2 months after we started dating. He had fallen out with me over another woman, and he actually fired one of his weapons at me, see weapon number 3. This was done at long range. This led to his cover being blown. I am a bit psychic and instantly knew that he was responsible. I confronted him. He panicked and used weapon number 1, see Section 13. On me, this actually can be lethal, although Brian was 20 miles away at the time. I ended up in hospital and almost died. Brian was called and turned up at the hospital. Thinking that I was going to die, he told me everything, that he worked for a suppressive force that was a global conspiracy, and he justified it by saying that looked at from a higher perspective bad is okay. And did I want to join them? No, thank you. 3 neighbors had taken me to hospital, and I had told them that Brian was responsible. When he found this out, and to this day, I do not know how he did it, he removed the effects of the weapon. It was drawn out of my body. I have always admired him for saving me, although his motives were keeping himself out of jail. Well, I actually know that it was one of his guides who told him to remove the weapon, who I thank very much. We continued to see each other. I am not great at picking men. Unpleasant. Mistreatment is the norm for me, although he had great